I thought I'd do a little video on this park for the LCRA. It's called Arkansas Bend Park. I've been coming here for years, over 20 years, I guess. It's changed a lot. They've upgraded so many things. In fact, let me show you the campsite. But this is a great place that's not too far from Austin. It's on Lake Travis. It's one of the most beautiful lakes I've ever been on. And if you're in Austin and you want a way to get away without going too far, it's kind of perfect. And like it's always been a little quiet for how good it is. Check this out. When you come in, they've already raked it and smoothed it out. I forgot my rake. I usually do this myself. And they already did it. You've got fresh water. It's drinkable, but I always put a filter on it. You've got electricity. Let's see what we have here. Hold on. We've got 110 and 220. So for RVs or those that are running heavier duty stuff, you're set. So it's nice and smooth. Actually, this is probably the nicest campsite I've ever seen. And it's not just mine. They're all like this. They're all very well maintained. The park staff is extremely friendly. I had a good long talk with one of them. Picnic table, nice barbecue pit, charcoal. I haven't opened it. There's 2 hooks, so you can put your trash on it, and you can also put your food up there. Not that we have bears here, but we definitely have little mini bears, little raccoons. All right, so yeah, charcoal, nice grill. Way cool. Nice wooded area. And then we have a fire pit. And look at the brake marks. I watched one of the guys do that after someone left here earlier. And that's just a nice finishing touch. Right now, they don't have primitive campsites. All they have are those that have electricity and water. So it's $30 a night and $5 per person at this time. I'm sure that can change. But the bathrooms are really clean, really well maintained. Again, you can tell the park staff really care. And I've been to a lot of state and national parks, various parks, and sometimes they're just nasty. But this is definitely not the case. I used to come here when none of this was here. This was all just dirt and stone, and I liked it that way. But, what do you do? Yeah, so here's the bathrooms. All right, so check this out. Look, floors are clean. We got toilet paper. We got a freaking clean toilet. Trash can, no trash in it. Sink, let's see if there's soap. Ultimate test. Yep, we have soap. Clean sink. Little mini lights up there. Little motion sensor. Hand dryer. Oh, little shower. Look at that. Freaking drain. Look. Nice and neat. Dude, I think it's got hot freaking water. I gotta find out if this has hot water. Look at the drain. I'm just saying, this is impressive. Oh, look at the ceiling. Let's find out if we've got hot water. Oh yeah, hot water. And check this out. 2 sprays. All right. This is one of, if not the cleanest park bathroom that I've ever seen. Like, ever. I've never been this impressed by a bathroom. Okay, so what I was told is that this is a little private beach. Beach, I should put in quotes or something, because beach is relative. But this is on the camping side, and the camping side is restricted by these gates, so you have to have the code to get in, and I like that. I actually used to swim this cove when I lived in Cedar Park. I used to come over here and bring one of those lifeguard floaty things and drag it behind me, tied around my waist. And I would do laps back and forth across this cove. And that was terribly dangerous, but no one would be here, and I loved it. Had the whole place to myself, kind of like I have it right now. And at first I was really disappointed that they did so much improvements to it, but at the moment I'm kind of digging it. Oh, this island over there, that island isn't always there. It's usually underwater, but whenever the water comes down like this, it pops up like that. And I used to camp out on that island, if we want to call it that, which I guess it is. And one time I took my bus. I used to have one of those short buses, and I converted it into a camper. It was so freaking cool. I took the seats out except for one row. And I had a bed in there and a table and a heater and air conditioner and all the cool stuff. Berber carpet. It was really cool. Anyway, I drove that freaking thing up onto this island, had a fire, enjoyed myself, and I have a picture of it somewhere. That was a long time ago. It wasn't so easy to take pictures as it is now. But anyway, here, I'll show you. Whenever the water goes down just a little bit more, you can totally drive across it. Right now, that's too high. But if it comes down like another foot or two, it's totally drivable. It's misleading, which is great because it keeps people off of it. But right now, you can walk from the main park on over to this little island and have it to yourself. And there's still fire rings, which one of them is mine. One of them is, I recognize a few of the rocks that are still there. And then there were a couple of rocks that I put on the island to know where the shallowest part was. And those rocks are still in the exact same place. And that's how I would know where to aim the bus or the Jeep. I had a Jeep at one point too. But anyway, if I went to the left or right, it would be too deep. But if I went right down the middle, that was the most shallow water. This lake, which technically Lake Travis is not a lake, it's a reservoir. It's dammed up and it's meant to hold water. It is not meant to be a lake. So we call it a lake. We think we have it to ourselves, but it's actually a reservoir. We need to remember that when we start complaining about how low it is and what all we're doing about keeping the water in there, which is we don't do anything to keep the water in here. We don't do anything to keep it in here. It comes up and it goes down. I love this lake. Hey, guess what? One of the coolest things about this lake, there's no freaking alligators in here. No alligators. Lately, unfortunately, that's actually kind of a big deal to not have alligators in here. I took it for granted all these years, but damn, there's alligators everywhere and they are not happy with people, it seems. You know, one of the other little things I like, the music being played around here right now is Billy Ocean, No More Love on, Caribbean Queen. No More Love on the Run. Yeah, I think it's Caribbean Queen. Not some nasty music, just some old school Billy Ocean. Thank you for that, people. And playing something that's not just repulsive. It's not even that loud. I like that. I used to come here and I would anchor my boat off on the other side. Over this way a little bit more. Over there by those people. And I would anchor off and just hang out for the day. Go swimming. I've stayed the night. Just anchor off and enjoy a priceless piece of property. But for $30 a night, you can come over here and enjoy something that you really just can't buy anymore. All right, I think I'll stop giving props to Arkansas Bend Park because I think you know my opinion. This is one of those things that I think is a nice kept secret, but I do want people to know about it within reason. Yeah, Arkansas Bend State Park. It's in Lago Vista. It's in Texas. Very short drive to Austin. And by its design, I think it will keep it from being overly busy or overrun. All right, I'm packing up camp and everything's put away and it just started raining just in time, or drizzling. But one thing I wanted to mention before I go and before I wrap this up is there are those there's these ants here that I call them the crazy ants, and they're tawny crazy ants. I might be saying it wrong. There's one right there. Oh, where'd it go? It was there. They're real fast, but it's something to be aware of so that whenever we take camp down, we don't take them with us because they multiply like crazy. They're working on getting rid of them here, but the best thing they can do at the moment is actually just letting people know that they're here, and you don't want to accidentally pack them away. There's one. Oh, crap, there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch. All right, so they were right where my tent was, and I'm glad they said something about it. That way I can be careful and just be aware. I think shortly they're going to make a little printout that they give to people, because I talked to one of the hosts yesterday and we both thought that'd be a really good idea, because they forgot to mention it to me when I came in, and it's because we were talking, and they're so awesome. I think they normally would have said something, but we were talking about all kinds of stuff. So they probably got distracted. Almost every state has something that we don't want to bring into another. The emerald ash borer, I'm real familiar with those, and that's one of the big ones. That's not right here in this park, but anyway, that's one of the things we don't want to spread if we don't have to, and we want to be careful about that. But these little crazy ants, they like water. They will come to wherever you have, they'll come to food. They even like the electricity, like the little buzz of outlets. And you see that with a lot of ants, but these crazy ants are really bad about it. They're not in this little box, already looked. But this is the kind of thing they like. They just like that little buzz, whatever that hum is. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them right there. Okay, so no place is perfect, and this is one of those things that you just have to watch out for, mainly for spreading them. I'll look into whether they bite or not. I've never been bit by one. Let's find out. I've never been bit, and I've seen them for a while. I used to work for a pest control company. Well, we did a lot of other things besides pest control. Yeah, it's not biting me. It's not biting me. It's just running around. If that was a fire ant, that would most certainly have bitten by now. So to wrap it up, this is Arkansas Bend Park. It's on Lake Travis. It's one of my favorite lakes that I've ever been to. I just love it. Last night it got pretty hot. I didn't sleep very well. When you're mobile, you can just take the vehicle, go higher up in the mountains, go to another state, go to another area. Here, I was here, and I didn't even have a fan. I underestimated how hot and humid it would be, and there's no air movement. But anyway, it drizzled a little bit, rained a little, and I'm gonna get out of here before it rains much harder. I really just wanted to test out some of the equipment and where I had laid out some of the things and just kind of play around with it. I'll wrap it up with that. I hope that you found the video helpful and a little insightful to this less known park, Arkansas Bend Park. It's on Lake Travis. It's in Lago Vista, Texas. And I think it's a great park to visit during the summer. And if you have a boat, yeah, there's 2 boat ramps. I didn't mention that earlier in the video, but it does have 2 boat ramps. And it's a wonderful park that's been remodeled recently. Thank you all for watching the video. And that is today's field note.